thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a somewhat popular video that breaks down a Facebook commercial. I don't know why there are Facebook commercials, but they're there. Anyways, there's a Facebook commercial that has a painting and they do some really weird stuff with it, and apparently it's all satanic. And so he's got some weird places that he's gonna go, and he's gonna read a lot of meaning into things that just simply have no meaning beyond what's literally in the painting. And it's a classic conspiracy theory kind of logic. They take a nugget of truth and they extrapolate what they want you to think about whatever topic they're talking about. They tell a narrative to convince you that that is reality when it's really not. Apparently the notifications didn't have sound. That's interesting. I'll have to fix that when we come back. But anyways, if you heathens want to fuck around and find out why this painting by, what's his name? Sorry, Henry Rousseau is satanic, as well as Facebook being satanic, then please stay tuned. In a second. Ah, shit, I still don't have that one smoothly set up right there. Okay, so just give me 1 second to get to my notifications thing, and I will be right back. Okay, I refreshed my notifications, so hopefully they are actually doing something. Daniel M did a super chat saying David says good night. He has Rex, his stuffed T-Rex is with him. Hey, that's a fine T-Rex right there. You know, T-Rex is probably one of the most popular dinosaurs out there. In fact, I don't know if you know this, David, but the T-Rex is actually one of the dinosaurs that we have one of the most complete skeletons of. I mean, I don't know for sure if it's the most complete, but it's definitely one of the most complete skeletons that we have. It's pretty amazing specimen there. Oh, we got a test. For some reason, oh, wait a second. I know exactly what's wrong. I'm so sorry. I forgot to get my headset. Oh, I forgot. So OBS is a little touchy when it comes to your audio sources, or at least the way that I have it set up. And it should like naturally just switch, but I have it selected for a very specific audio source. So now they should be working, I believe.
Okay, so
Yep, that's the jackass we're listening to, so I can hear it. Anyways, we've got Gomo send a super chat saying thanks for your work and educating me. Took nearly 20 years to deconstruct, but now I'm a heathen too. Way to go there, Gomo. I'm so glad that you were able to join us tonight for the stream. And all I really care about is people considering what they believe and why they believe it. And as long as you come to your own conclusions on things, I'm perfectly fine. But anyways, in case you're wondering what I'm drinking tonight, this is a ultraviolet aviator. It's a purple energy drink with some aviator gin. Most of it's aviator gin. Anyways, that's what happens when I make my own drinks. Yeah, so somebody said still no sound for the notifications. I should have that fixed.
Hey, dipshit.
There we go.
This person just bought you a beer.
Daniel says, I bet OBS, whatever is indexing at 1. Yeah. That's probably what's going on right there. Let me get that all nice and fixed up there. Okay, fixed. Got it. I knew exactly what was wrong. All right. So, we have some Today I Learned as well as comments tonight. As you can tell, I'm sitting down because my fat ass is lazy. Not really. I've had a little bit of sugar issues, so I'm sitting down just so that I don't like bomb out in the middle of the stream. But we're going to be going through Today I Learned comments, and then we're going to get to the actual video, which the video is almost 10 minutes long, so it's going to be a little bit of a long one tonight. Hopefully not too long. There's not really too much to say about it. It's just crazy. It's just sort of a very relaxed Friday night where we're going to watch some kind of dumbass fucking video. So that's what we're doing. All right. So as long as nobody has a birthday this weekend or this next week, here we go. Oh yeah. Forgot. Hold on. Today I learned. Anyways, all right. So first up on Today I Learned that when Apollo 11 landed on the moon, they had about 15 seconds of fuel left. That's coming in pretty close. I don't know if do you guys remember the lander video game? I don't know if it was like an Atari type game or what. It was just lines on a screen.
You know, donating this much only makes me drink more.
Thank you so much there, Lisa for Truth. Lisa says, did this guy read Da Vinci Code and think it's real? No, I mean, this kind of shit has been
fair money.
This kind of shit has been going around like the conspiracy theorist type of circles for a while, especially with the Christian conspiracy theorists. So this type of like logic and everything that we're going to see here, it came way before Da Vinci Code. But anyways, we got Daniel M who says, if you have to grab a snack, we won't mind. Don't bottom out while streaming. Oh, I shouldn't be. I had a small glass of milk, which helps raise my sugar up pretty quick, and it's already going up. So I should be fine. Plus, it's pizza night here at the Gleason household, so that should be hitting me soon too. But anyways, you don't have to worry about it. I don't know if you guys remember the video game where there was like a lander thing where you had to land it. Maybe this was just a game that you played at the Space and Rocket Center. The lander is older than Atari, apparently Zoran says in the chat. But I remember playing the lander game and I could never get it like good at all. So the fact that they were able to do this is just amazing. I remember watching, what was it? It's that movie about Armstrong and him going to the moon. First Man, I think is what it's called. I really need to watch it. Cadence says it's called Lunar Lander. Yeah. But anyways, like in that, it shows how they were testing the actual lander stuff, and that looks like some scary shit. So good on them for making it with still 15 seconds of fuel left. I'm sure that was actually pretty impressive. Even by their standards, probably. All right. Next on Today I Learn that Omicron appears mild, mostly because infected people are younger, vaccinated, previously infected, or all three. Omicron case hospitalizations are 20 to 25% lower than Delta, which was 126% higher than Alpha. So, it's still worse than the original variant, I guess, but it's like, at least it's not as bad as Delta. I don't know. Anyways, the ones that are going to not everybody, but it seems like most of the people that end up in hospitals now are the dipshits, that either don't want to get vaccinated or whatever. They think they can punch it in the face. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so that's just a little bit of a tidbit about Omicron and pandemic shit in case you want to know. And then here's some random science facts. Apparently, the male fruit flies rejected by females drink significantly more alcohol than those that have had a successful encounter. It says drink more. So the ones that do get laid also drink, just not as much. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the Today I Learns. I hope you guys, learned something about, fruit flies and shit. We got Lisa for Truth, who did a milestone super chat for her 28 months. And she says, natural selection in action. Hell yeah. Fucking natural selection. Okay. So, next up, we've got comments. So, comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. See, I had to over-exaggerate how badly I can play it, because otherwise people will think that I'm starting to get better, and so I got to remind them, like, nope, hold on, maybe I should do it like this. Nope, I'm still shit. Anyways, so we got comments. Comments are fun. All right, this one is from the Faithful Catholic, who's responding to Trent Horn talking about some kind of bullshit. And what they're saying is, nothing comes of nothing. Nothing ever could. For something to exist, it was created. God is at the very start of the process and all through time. No one can disprove God. For atheists, no proof is enough. For those with faith, no proof is needed. I'll pray for you. God bless. Okay, so nothing comes of nothing. Nothing ever could. I don't know who I don't know if he's quoting Trent or maybe just something Frank Turk said, because that looks exactly like something that Frank Turk has said in the past. But the scientific version of nothing is very different than the, this hypothetical nothing that apologists always talk about when they talk about something coming from nothing. So the scientific nothing is still something. Like there's still something there for shit to happen. And so that means that it's very possible and probable that it will happen. And so this just doesn't make sense because it doesn't actually address any kind of like scientific.
May the power of Christ compel you to get the fuck out of here.
Thank you, Daniel M., for exercising the demons. Daniel says, before it gets too far past the point, those fruit flies are sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. Yeah. But anyways, so for something to exist, it was created. Well, no, I mean, it came into existence. Like I disagree with, saying that it was created. And that's just because the inference or the implication here is that something or someone had to create it. And I think that the universe could have popped into existence or inflated into existence without some kind of intelligent creator. It could have done it by itself. So,
hey, dipshit, this person just bought you a bear. Listen, I don't care what you say. He was literally shitting in the holes.
That one always kills Casey. Lisa for Truth says, so who created God? And that's a decent question. And then we got Lucrezia Cosplay who says,
here comes the gravy train.
Lucrezia Cosplay says, has anyone ever met a Christian who actually prayed for you? Or is this always just an empty saying or whatever? I have met, like, I've been cornered a couple of times, like outside of work or outside of a movie theater, and people have said,
bear money.
And people have said, I'll be praying for you. And I've actually watched one guy walk off and be praying for me as he's walking to his car, which, I mean, he was in a parking lot. It was at the end of the day, so there wasn't really any cars going around, but I really hope that he didn't close his eyes. But anyways, so I have seen that, and I would bet that it's probably, more likely to happen in the South than it is to happen like in less religious parts of the country. Anyways, Elizabeth Richardson says, what possessed you to buy a ukulele in the first place? Also, what's this month's charity again? That's sorry, I didn't mean to say that in such a rednecky voice, but anyways, thank you so much there, Elizabeth, for mentioning that. The ukulele, actually, my son had a ukulele, and then I was like, fuck, I'll get a ukulele and we'll just not be able to play together, together. And, so that's how I came about a ukulele. And this month's charity is the Recovering from Religion Foundation. I'm actually going to be on a live stream for like 30 minutes or something like that tomorrow night. And they're doing like a charity stream thing over there. And so I'm gonna help them out with that, and we're gonna be donating this month to the Recovering from Religion Foundation. So that's who we're gonna be going to help, and they do a lot of great work out there in the field of helping people, that have problems with what they went through as far as religious harm goes and stuff like that. They have a bunch of free services that like you can call into a hotline and everything. So they do a lot of great work for us, and they're really rated rather well on the charity investigation sites like Charity Navigator. So they're great. We got Mathwist742 who says they're just assuming that it's even possible for absolutely nothing to exist. That's true. That is a presumption that absolutely nothing exists, and so it's but you're right. That's a presumption that they have. Zoomy sent a member chat saying, whenever someone says I'll pray for you, I think to myself, yeah, I'll talk to myself for you too. Yeah. All right. So And I agree with you there, Zumi. I get the same, like, you know, I kind of feel the same way whenever somebody.
Not getting any better.
I feel the same way whenever somebody tells me that they're going to pray for me. Depending on what it is, I'll either think that or I'm glad you're not going to do something about it. Daniel M says David says he wants to do the live stream with you. Well, I mean, considering you're in a kind of a different part of the country there, David, we'll have to see one day about whether or not we can get you on a call or something and have you up there. But you know, we'll talk about it later. All right, there, David. Anyways, so back to this tweet right here. Another thing I want to point out is no one can disprove God. It's not our job to disprove God, especially their particular God. Now, I do agree that I don't think somebody can disprove the possibility of a God existing. That's why I remain agnostic on the general the general God question, right? But as far as like his specific God, I can definitely disprove it, but it's also not my responsibility to disprove his, because they have the responsibility of proving their God. And then I analyze their evidence, which they don't have any evidence, or at least no evidence that supports their conclusion. So, yeah. Anyways, and then he says, for atheists, no proof is enough. I disagree. I don't know what the evidence would look like, but there could be evidence out there that would convince me that God exists. It happens to people all the time. So, I mean, obviously there is some kind of evidence out there that could persuade me that God exists. Whether or not I should worship that God is a totally different question. And then they say, for those with faith, no proof is needed. I don't think that this is as good of a thing as they want to make it out to be, because it's like, if you just have faith in anything, then no proof is there. I would hope that you would want proof for the things that you believe in. At least I feel like reasonable people would have proof. And you can't just make it out to be like some kind of good thing that somebody believes in something when there's no proof for it. You could just make up anything at that point, and as long as that person believes in it, it's like you're great. Yes. You're one of the chosen, or whatever in the fuck they say. Anyways, I'll pray for you. God bless. I don't know. I think that, I wonder if maybe that might be towards me, because I think this was on a tweet where Trent Horn was having a conversation with me. So I don't know. But anyways, I mean, I don't care if people pray for me. I'm just glad you're not going to do anything about it, you know, kind of thing. Anyways. All right. So that's the first one. Here's the next one. This is a doozy. Gotta put on the real hillbilly accent right here, okay? Let me get the right. Yeah. I am an elementary school teacher, and as an American, I have the freedom of speech. I was talking to my amazing class about COVID, which quickly turned into a mask, and why I don't wear one. I told them the truth because we cannot raise our children with lies. Later that afternoon, I got emails from parents completely enraged that I would go against the system and become brainwashed as they are. My boss, so after, sent me an email telling me not to speak the truth, which is my American right. Disgusting. I'm sorry, but well, freedom of speech is your right, and you can say those things perfectly fine. I don't feel like you have the right to teach misinformation to children. I mean, you're protected. Well, let's put this a bit more specifically. You're protected from the government from being arrested for saying wrong shit. but you're not protected against like your job from firing you for being a dipshit, especially a public school. I feel like if you're going to do that, I feel like maybe some time off with or without pay, hopefully not with pay if you're going to be this kind of a dipshit. But it's so interesting. I mean, they don't understand what freedom of speech is, because the freedom of speech that's in the Constitution only protects you from the federal government, and well, government in general, not just federal government, but the government. Like, you can't be arrested for saying shit that's covered under the First Amendment, but your ass can still get fired. Dumb person. Also, another thing to point out is that America is not the only place with free speech. So it's not an American right. I mean, it is, but it's also not just America that has that right. Anyways, next up on the comments, we've got the attractiveness of a politician's wife says more about his character and integrity than literally all of his policies. Okay, you got a hot wife, I trust you. Oh yeah, thank you there, honey, in the chat, Casey. Let's see. Drew's Book Reviews did a member chat, a little bit ago, for a previous comment. He said, can't prove a negative, just like you can't prove aliens don't exist. Though proof of intelligent technology, technologically advanced aliens is more likely to be found. I agree. Yep. So so for one thing, it automatically assumes politicians can't be women. I guess. At least that's how I read this. Number two, this is so objectifying of women. Like, I mean, making them an object. And number three, how somebody looks has no bearing on their integrity. You could be the ugliest motherfucker and still be and still have more integrity than most people. Alternatively, you could be the most handsome person or the most beautiful person and be shit, utter shit. So I don't see how this is correlated, like, at all. I feel like you're saying, I like my politician with the banging wife that I want to fuck every time I see her. If I don't have that, then there's no point being a fucking politician. It's like, thank you so much for your fucking misogyny. Could you get the fuck out of here, please? Oh, this one's great. There's nothing on this one that I can really say about it other than try to read it. Okay. Also on that last tweet, I did see Zumi say, what about gay politicians? Anything, like, apparently politicians shouldn't be or can't be anything other than straight males, I guess, is apparently what they were trying to, is what they were assuming, it seems. Thank you for pointing that out there, Zumi. Anyways, here, okay, let's see if I can read this. All right, here we go. 12 men and women in jail, going to hell. I pay thee in hell. It's not too hot for them. What the fuck? 12 man in woman. That seems like a Brazers video. In GA in Georgia, going to hell, I guess. I'll pay thee in hell. It not too hot for them. How the fuck did you make it out of high school? Like, there's no way you made it through high school and you end up writing this fucking thing on Facebook. There's no way. This just does not make any kind of sense for anybody to graduate high school and write this fucking sentence. This isn't even a sentence. It's not even a sentence fragment. It's a bunch of fucking letters thrown together that just so happen to spell shit. Apparently I read men. 12 man in woman in guy. This is too much. Anyways. KC in the chat says, I pray that in hell it's not too hot for them. Gee. Yeah, but bless them. Bless their hearts. This one is weirdly anti-Semitic, and I have just... Anyways, Jews eat bagels on Christmas Day to remind themselves that without Christ as the center of their life, they have nothing! So, like, Jews don't believe in Jesus? I mean, other than, like, the Jews for Jesus type of Jews, I guess. I don't think they eat bagels to remind themselves about Christ. Bagels are good in general. Like, I mean, I don't have bagels often. It's been a while since I've had a bagel, but bagels are fucking delicious, especially if you get some good cream cheese on it, either the flavored cream cheese or otherwise. Panera has great bagels. You know, KC, we should actually do an order from Panera tomorrow morning and get some bagels with some cream cheese. Anyways, yeah, I don't think that any of this has it comports with any kind of like reality in any kind of way. Yeah. And then finally on the comments, we've got this, which plays in like really well to us donating to RFR this month and RFR having their drive, their charity drive. So, anyways, we've got this person who says, Western religious trauma is either I don't want to wake up early for church or I want to put things in my butt. Which is this one? Well, they were responding to somebody. So, honestly, I think either one of those things are perfectly fine for anybody to feel. I don't see a problem with putting stuff up your butt as long as it's not a live creature that you're going to kill. Be safe about it. But, I don't understand what the problem is with, stuffing something up your butt.
May the power of Christ compel you to get the fuck out of here.
I feel like that one was exorcising the demon that's in all the butts. Daniel M says, Einstein Brothers bagels are the best. Elizabeth will know what I'm talking about. I don't think I've ever had those, but anyways, so butt stuff is not bad. I don't see why they've always got to hate on it or even pick on like butt stuff. I just feel like they haven't tried butt stuff maybe. Anyways, Western religious trauma is either I don't want to wake up early for church. I don't think that this is in any way, like I have not met, hold on. Elizabeth Richardson says, yes, they are good. I haven't been there in a while. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever had
up,
that particular.
It's not getting any better.
I don't think I've ever had that particular brand of bagel. But anyways, so I've never met an atheist who's like, yeah, I became an atheist because I just got tired of waking my ass up on Sundays. I mean, as a Christian, you just stop going to Sunday church and you make up other like things for why you don't go to church. It's like, oh, well, I wake up every day and I read a verse out the good book. Just one verse because I'm trying to make it last. or I know for me, like the reason why I didn't go to church was because I went to the youth services during the middle of the week. And I felt out of place on Sundays. And so it wasn't that like I had any kind of trauma in that way. We got Zontac with a super sticker of somebody running the fuck away from religion. That's fast tracking deconstruction right there. That's what that sticker is. We got Quentin Van Boomen says, Weekly Tide just got off work. Wouldn't a baby Jesus butt plug?
This person just bought an express ticket to hell.
Wouldn't a baby Jesus butt plug be needed to exercise a butt demon? Yes, I think it would. But in any case, this just really trivializes the actual trauma that people suffer from religion. And there's a lot of it out there. Whether it be physical trauma from being beaten, having the devil whipped out of you or whatever, and the fuck people do. People have been known to cause children to die from, doing ridiculous things concerned with religion. And then there's the psychological stuff that religion does to people, or rather people do to other people using religion. But the reason why they can do it is because religion seems to be perfectly set up to do that kind of abuse, both physical abuse and mental abuse. And so, trivializing it like this, I think is just shitty. Like, it's just a shitty thing to do. And it just shows that, these people don't really know what we're talking about when we talk about religious trauma, and they don't want to know because they think that it's, oh, you just want to put stuff up your butt. I'm sorry, but was there something in Christianity before that prevented me from stuffing some shit up my butt? I don't remember Jesus saying, thou shalt not stuff stuff in your butt. Thou doest.
May the power of Christ compel you to get the fuck out of here.
Thou doest not put things up thine anus. That is exit only. That's what Jesus said, Matthew 69:69. Caitlin Chloe sent a super chat saying, baby Jesus butt plug was my first ever KC's Corner. Takes me back. That was a good KC's Corner right there. Thou shalt not shove things up thine rectum, or else trauma. Depending how big the thing is, maybe. Okay, anyways, that's it for the comments today. I appreciate everybody sending in all the super chats. We're going to be able to donate, a little bit to RFR this month, which I'm sure that they're very appreciative of that. I know they're, everybody likes money. Vanta Blue sent a member chat saying, wouldn't surprise me if the book had the line, thou shalt only spread thine cheeks for me, and me only. Yep. That's why they go face down, ass up in, the Bible. Also in Islam, they go face down, ass up for the Lord. And they spread their butt cheeks, when you go down. But anyways. All right. So let's get to the Satanism. There we go. All right. So this is the dude. I really appreciate him putting this out there. He got a lot of views off of this. There's I forgot to put the link in the description. But I'll get that fixed right here while I'm introducing it. So this guy right here thinks he's noticed.
What are you doing?
I blew my load.
Yeah, Casey's load got blown. So it's got 113. Yep, 113,000 views on it right now, and I'm getting the original video in the description right now. I know people love to have that. If you're really interested, you can refresh and you'll get the link. Jason Kolasik says the wife Thou wife shall not peg you. Do not be cuck. Which the pegging and the cucking are two different things, just so that people are aware that I know that. But anyway, so this guy's got a lot of views on it, and it really pisses me off how conspiracy shit gets around so quickly. This live stream, of course, will never be as popular as the original video, and I'm fine with that. But it just goes to show you how easily bad information can spread, and this conspiracy shit can spread. I mean, hell, I could take some kind of commercial, I could turn it into like some kind of atheist thing, and the problem is that I feel like the atheist crowd, at least the audience that I've cultivated here, all you heathens out there, are way too smart to fall for the bullshit that goes on in these conspiracy theory laden videos. And that's because they take nuggets of truth and they extrapolate from it. Notice it in this video as we watch it tonight, because you'll notice that there are nuggets of truth that he brings out, but he ends up like going farther than that and telling a narrative that paints this commercial as being satanic. So, all right. Let's see what he's got to say.
Okay, so last night I uploaded a video to TikTok just kind of breaking down a couple of really strange things I saw in the metaverse Facebook ads that they've been releasing, and a lot of you guys seem to really enjoy that kind of content, so I figured I'd just hop on OBS real quick and record a full-length detailed breakdown of the entire ad.
Motherfucker, it's not getting any better.
You're right, it's not getting any better. Reasons for Reason said R4R contributing to RFR. Thank you so much there, Reasons for Reason. Appreciate you.
Ad for you guys. So I hope it's something that you enjoy. If it is, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, so one of the first things that we're going to notice when we're breaking this down is there is a very peculiar art style that is used throughout the duration of this ad, and it's something that's known as the uncanny valley. And the uncanny...
Now, okay, so I didn't look this up. Uncanny valley. The uncanny valley is a term used to describe the relationship between the human-like appearance of a robotic object and the emotional response it evokes. So yeah, okay. I think you know, I think it kind of fits. But the problem is that like the whole uncanny valley thing comes way before the actual painting that they're showing, which the painting that they're showing is called Fight Between a Tiger and a Buffalo, 1908. And I don't know when the uncanny valley thing was actually coined. Let's see. Here's a Wikipedia. Yeah, so the concept was identified by a robotics professor Masahiro Mori, in 1970. The term was first translated as Uncanny Valley in 1978 in the 1978 book Robots, Fact, Fiction, and Prediction by Josiah Reichart, thus forging an unintended link to Ernst Jentsch's concept of the uncanny, introduced in a 1906 essay entitled On the Psychology of the Uncanny. Jentsch's conception was criticized by and elaborated by Sigmund Freud in 1919 essay entitled The Uncanny. So, I mean, I guess it was initially identified in 1906, but it's this concept of the uncanny. The uncanny is the psychological experience of something as not simply mysterious but creepy. Often in a strangely familiar way, it may describe incidents where a familiar thing or event is encountered in an unsettling, eerie, or taboo context. So it's a lot more generalized, but I guess I could see where he's getting at that with this. Not so much the tiger and the buffalo that's actually in the picture, but in the rest, we'll see in the rest of the commercial. Anyways, this painting was done by Henry Rousseau in 1908, and it's called "Fight Between a Tiger and a Buffalo." And the thing is that Rousseau had never seen a jungle. He had never went outside of France. And all of his information that he got about these things are like the tiger and the buffalo are from like books that he read. And he got the scenery, like a concept of the scenery of a jungle from botanical gardens in France. And so, I mean, he pretty much just combined all of that into this painting. And this painting was actually a great inspiration for Pablo Picasso. And him and other artists, started this avant-garde sort of movement where they, painted whatever they wanted to. But I don't think that the uncanny valley was something that was necessarily in Henry Rousseau's mind at the time. Of course, this is just the painting that we're talking about. He's talking about the larger commercial that's going to be played, but I feel like it's just meant to be like an aesthetic. Like there's nothing satanic about creepy stuff necessarily.
Valley is a style of art that artists typically and almost always try to stay away from because it makes the viewer feel uncomfortable. It's close to reality, but it's not quite reality.
I mean, it's just about being creepy. Like that's the point of it. Like, I feel like saying that most artists stay away from it. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of jumping there because I don't know exactly what his citation is for saying that most artists avoid it. I mean, there are whole like genres of art styles and everything like that. That's creepypasta is essentially, I feel like is kind of what he's talking about here. At least the maybe modern digital version of the uncanny valley. This is actually something that people enjoy. So I would say, I mean, probably not a lot of people do it, but at the same time, I don't think that means most artists stay away from it.
And this is by no means a mistake. This wasn't done on accident. They didn't accidentally make the art this way. This was 100% planned. It is supposed to make you feel a little bit off.
Yeah, I mean, it was creepy, but I think that, like, knowing the history of this painting and what it kind of inspired, the painting inspired a movement of artists to paint what they wanted, to be who they were. And so I think that the commercial is trying to capture that, being that, you're not so strictly defined in, the expectations of others or anything like that, as far as like creativity goes. I feel like that's where they were going with the commercial. And I feel like it's vastly more likely that that's where it was going. And instead of like it being satanic.
This is the dimension of imagination.
So the very first thing that I noticed when I was watching this ad was just how peculiar of a choice it was to put a tiger eating a buffalo at the very beginning of the ad.
Well, I mean, it introduces, so it's not all that peculiar, for one, because of the history surrounding this particular painting of Henry Rousseau's. Because of what it inspired, who it inspired, I feel like that was the reason why they chose this particular thing. And I mean, tigers eating buffaloes is something that happens in nature, but I really feel like the main thing is just what what the painting inspired, like the movement of artists that it inspired, what this painting means in history. That is, I feel like the purpose or the reason why they started out with that painting.
Something that's supposed to be so fun, and this is a virtual reality world that we can all retreat to and have fun in, and at the end of the ad it says this is going to be fun. It kind of seems like a strange choice, and I don't really know why they chose this.
Because they're trying to, I guess, tease people's creativity. Like that's, I feel like, knowing the history of the painting, that seems pretty obvious.
That was my initial thought, but after a few days of sitting with it, I knew that there had to be more than that. So I spent a couple days doing some pretty thorough research. I found a
thorough research. What would thorough research be here, bud? Finding random things that you can single out in this entire ad and then say, oh yeah, fucking Satan.
few examples of what's known as Zoroastrian petroglyphs, and they depict a tiger attacking and eating a buffalo. And I thought, well, what does that mean? Why would they choose this? Are they even related? Zoroastrianism is one of the oldest and most widely practiced religions in all of human history. It's just as old as Christianity, Judaism, and even Islam.
I feel like this is a little bit of a misspeak here. I don't know. Maybe he is. Anyways, Zoroastrianism is older than Christianity and Judaism. Like Christians took, Zoroastrianism, some of the concepts from Zoroastrianism, merged it with Judaism, and then created Christianity. So, I mean, Zoroastrianism is the first religion that has this anti-God figure, this eternal fight between the God and the anti-God. So, I mean, I don't know why he's bringing it up as far as Zoroastrianism goes, other than they also have like tiger and buffalo, fighting each other, which is something that would have happened in this particular area. Like, I mean, in the area of the Zoroastrians and everything like that, you had tigers that hunted buffaloes.
It's a cosmologic monotheistic religion, meaning that they only believe in one God, and with that, they also believe in an anti-god, or a devil. The devil in Zoroastrianism being known as Ahriman, the god of darkness, the god of human confusion. And if you've seen my original video on the topic, you know what Zoroastrian petroglyphs were used to depict the god Ahriman. So there's undoubtedly...
Oh, okay, so because there's a tiger in the painting, that means that the tiger is Satan, and Satan's attacking the buffalo somehow. Okay. I hope that you notice that this is part of the thing where they take a nugget of truth, being that, there's Zoroastrianism is an old religion, and Zoroastrians, had these glyphs that had tigers and buffaloes in them, and then they represented Ahriman, their devil, with a tiger, or tiger-like, I guess, entity or something like that. And so now he's bringing it back to the commercial, and he's saying, oh, well, that means that this is actually Ahriman in this painting. That's what they're wanting to convey to you. But he literally picked Zoroastrianism out of the air just because they have tigers attacking buffaloes, and this is a tiger attacking a buffalo. So therefore, Satan.
Some symbolic connection there. And before we move on, one of the more subtle things that I noticed was the buffalo's eye. To some of you, you may already know, or you may have already caught what I'm talking about. But this singular eye looks eerily similar to the Eye of Ra, or the Eye of Horus, used in Egyptian mythology. Now, more mainstream conspiracy theorists would call this the all-seeing eye, or the trademark symbol of the Illuminati. I'm not necessarily saying that's what it is, but certainly very peculiar. And I certainly think it's important that we at least ask these questions and have a discourse about it. The all-seeing...
Fucking pause! Shit! Okay. I gotta pause right here. Okay. So, It's just a fucking eye. Like, that's what it looks like. It looks like a fucking eye. Like, let's go back to the, this. That's just an eye. That's how I would draw a fucking eye. That's how that's when I was a kid and when I used to actually draw shit. That's how I would draw an eye. Like, this is, it doesn't have to be like some kind of reference to the Eye of Ra or the all-seeing eye or anything like. It's just a fucking eye. Okay, that's all it is. And this is another case. So it's 2 times already. We should really have like a conspiracy counter. Maybe I'll have that for the director's cut here in like 12 months or something. But we should have like a conspiracy counter because this is the 2nd time he's done this. He's taken this one minute detail about the one eye appearing in it. Which, I mean, if the tiger attacked the buffalo and the buffalo was face down into the ground, you would only be able to see the one eye from the perspective that he's at, right? And so, I mean, it would be weird if you saw 2 eyes, right, on the buffalo at this point. So it makes sense why there would only be one eye there as far as the tiger attacking the buffalo. Okay. Number 2, he takes, how it looks, he connects it over here to something that has no relation to it, being the Eye of Ra, the all-seeing eye, the Illuminati, and all this other shit. And he's like, aha, boom, plug it right in, and there you go. That's another tentacle on this fucking Cthulhu version of this fucking ad. Obviously the eye is referencing the Illuminati or the Eye of Ra or something like that.
Eye of Ra or the Eye of Horus used in Egyptian mythology. Now, more mainstream conspiracy theorists would call this the all-seeing eye or the trademark symbol of the Illuminati. I'm not necessarily saying that's what it is, but it's certainly very peculiar.
I'm not saying it's the all-seeing eye. It's just peculiar as fuck. And I also like how at this part he's suggesting that he's somehow different than quote-unquote mainstream conspiracy theorists. I mean, you're doing exactly the same thing as mainstream conspiracy theorists.
And I certainly think it's important that we at least ask these questions and have a discourse about it. The all-seeing eye is symbolic of spiritual awakening and spiritual consciousness. And in this case in particular, it is very likely being used as the Eye of Ra, or in other words, the god of light.
Okay, so there's a lot of differences between the Eye of Ra and the eye of the buffalo that's on the ground, okay? For one thing, the Eye of Ra is a lot more intricate. It's got the brow ridge and it's got the little curl down there where I guess he's got a weird random eyelash that's growing and curling out. And then it kind of looks like the Eye of Ra also has that one little hair that's jutting down from it or something. So I mean, it's very different, this Eye of Ra, than the eye that's actually painted.
Now, if you're somebody who follows an Abrahamic religion like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, or even Zoroastrianism possibly, you are likely very familiar with the god of light, being Lucifer, otherwise known as Satan. Lucifer by definition meaning light bearer. So I'm going to leave that there and we'll touch on the eye again at the end of this video.
Let's see. Somebody said in the chat that he means the Eye of Horus. Actually, the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra look eerily similar. I mean, there's some minor differences between the two. It seems. Yeah, hold on. I don't know how accurate this particular thing is, but if people want to know the difference between the Eye of Ra and Eye of Horus, it's the right eye of Ra and the left eye of Horus. So technically, the way that that's the buffalo's left eye. So it actually would be the Eye of Horus because it's the left eye of Horus. It's related to the moon. The right eye of Ra related to the sun. So I guess you would be right. It would actually be the Eye of Horus, considering that it's the left eye. So good catch there. Sorry, I think who was it? Asexual atheist, maybe. Anyways, thank you for whoever caught that. That was a good catch.
This is the dimension of imagination.
Okay, so the next thing that I noticed that was really strange is when the kids walk up to the painting and they acknowledge the tiger and they see that the tiger is obviously attacking the buffalo, the tiger then stops and begins to stroke the buffalo and smile and almost befriend it.
I'm sorry, that tiger's not befriending that buffalo. It's just petting its meal. Like, I mean, I've seen videos where you know, tigers will play with their food. So I mean, this just seems like something that would happen in nature. And also it's I feel like it's probably part of this whole uncanny valley thing that he was mentioning before, just something that's very creepy. But again, it's not about being creepy necessarily. It's about what this painting, Henry Rousseau's painting, means, like, historically. And so it's about the creativity. It's about not being bound by what other people think, like not being bound by the norms as far as, I guess, what people consider to be normal. It's like, you know, explore your creative side. That's the message that I'm getting from it. I don't know if maybe I'm just making this shit up and I don't know what I'm talking about, but to me, the history of it seems to make it clear.
In some kind of a really odd way. Well, there's a couple of ways that I could connect this to the real world. First being that it is a singular tiger attacking a singular buffalo. Well, in the wild, tigers have to divide and conquer their prey because they can't attack a herd of buffalo all at once, so they've got to make the numbers smaller and take them out one by one. This could be very easily correlated to the powers that be in our own world. They can't conquer us all if we all work together, so they have to purposely divide us from within, and then they conquer us.
So he takes the fact that there's a single tiger attacking a buffalo, and he extrapolates that to, oh, Facebook is telling us that the devil is attacking our spirituality because of this Eye of Ra thing, which is actually the Eye of Horus or whatever, and which is actually the moon, eye, I guess. But anyways, and so I guess he's meaning that the devil attacks our spirituality somehow. But I mean, even in his explanation of how tigers will split up herds of buffalo and take them out one by one. I feel like, you know, a tiger can definitely take down a buffalo. I mean, tigers are fucking strong, dude. I mean, we're not talking like, you know, the chunky tigers in like the zoos where they're just like, you know, those big motherfuckers, you know, like I would be, I guess. But the tigers are like fucking jacked, you know? I mean, they're strong. So I don't know why he thinks that like a single tiger can't take down a single buffalo, especially considering that this buffalo here, it doesn't look all that huge from the perspective that we're at. It looks like the tiger is probably maybe only a slight bit smaller than the buffalo, but now the buffalo is not going to be as like fucking stacked as the tiger is, right? So I just don't see how he's getting there. Again, he's taking one little he's taking one little aspect of this, and then he extrapolates from that one little aspect into this whole narrative of the devil attacking our spirituality. And there's just nothing to connect it there.
So when the kids acknowledge the tiger and what he's doing, the tiger immediately stops and pretends to be their friend, pretends to be friendly, pretends like he's not about to murder this buffalo.
Yeah, so it's not murder, right? He's gonna kill the buffalo, sure, but obviously they can't have like a tiger killing a buffalo on some kind of fucking Facebook thing. So obviously the tiger is going to shift its attention to the viewers, who is the audience, right? And so, I mean, I don't understand why that is a big thing. I guess maybe I should just let him continue. Maybe he'll explain.
Very similar to what we see every 4 years. Secondly, and I'm not sure that this is really connected, but this is weird, tigers actually do something similar to this in the wild. It's actually been recorded that tigers will mimic the sounds of cow and buffalo to lure them out of their herd to be killed.
They think you're one of us.
Crazy stuff.
This is the
So how exactly is this connected to the tiger in a 2D, like a painting, an oil, I think it's an oil-based painting. Let's see, oil on fabric. How are you connecting the tiger looking at the people and like playing with its food to tigers mimicking the sounds of cows, trying to separate them or something like that? Like, I don't understand that particular dynamic. This is the dimension of imagination, is what it says, right? So that's what this is supposed to embody right here, is the imagination, the creative portion of your mind, allowing you to, be as creative as you want to, being unconstrained by the norms of the rest of, the art world or content creation or whatever. Like, they're trying to paint this picture with this commercial of being unrestrained creatively. And, I feel like doing this whole uncanny valley thing or just being creepy in general is supposed to communicate that. Now, it was lost on me when I first saw it. When I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this? What? I don't understand what this thing is marketing. Why is, like, I was more confused over Facebook having to do commercials than I was over like the actual painting, whatever the fuck's happening. Like, I'm more confused over Facebook doing commercials. Facebook's like fucking McDonald's, okay? Everybody fucking knows Facebook. Everybody knows that it's it's there. Everybody knows where they can find it. Like, everybody's seen the fucking Social Network movie, I'm sure. So, I mean, everybody knows it's past. They know you're there, just like McDonald's. We don't need you to tell our fat asses where McDonald's are. We know that they're a McDonald's. We know that they're like in every single town. Okay. If you want McDonald's, you're never more than 15 miles away from a fucking McDonald's, with the exception of maybe middle of nowhere, Texas. Right. So, I mean, you don't need to advertise. And that's the most confusing thing out of the entire commercial for me.
dimension of imagination.
Go Penguin! Go Penguin! What? Flamingo, not penguin. Why did I say fucking penguin? What the fuck? Go Flamingo. I don't know why I said fucking penguin.
All right.
All right. This is crazy. And it is crazy, but it also makes you pay attention. Like, I feel like all of this is about creativity and being able to express yourself creatively. And the fact that, let's just assume for a second, because I haven't looked it up, but let's just assume artists always try to stay away from the uncanny valley, this sort of theme or whatever. I don't think that's true in any kind of case, but anyways, let's just assume that it would be a perfect tool to use to say, hey, don't be afraid to be creative. See, this thing right here, while creepy, is creative, but don't let that sway you from being creative. And so, yeah, I don't know. Fucking penguins.
This is the really weird part. I'm going to get into something deep right now. So, in occultic symbolism, we see the use of Saturn and black cubes quite often, and I'm going to explain why that is. And hopefully I do a
Where the fuck did Saturn come in? Like, I mean, nothing in that whole sequence of crazy shit did I see any kind of thing mentioning Saturn or black cubes. Hold on, let's go back and watch that entire crazy thing.
Of imagination.
Toucan sing. Flamingos. Creepy things.
All right, this is the really weird.
Wait, okay, so let's see. Hold on. Maybe it's that last. And okay, maybe it's this last scene right here. Shit, hold on. Right here. Okay, I see it now. See, there's Saturn. Saturn in the background, I guess. Or well, no, you know, I honestly don't know if that is Saturn. That just looks like a planet with rings. Like I don't see how that's Saturn. But also, if you'll notice, there's like that giant planet. There's a sun. There's some kind of like Emerald City over there, and then there's like another sun back there. Like this isn't. There's no way that's Saturn because this isn't even fucking Earth. Maybe it could be a moon of Saturn, but I don't know. I mean, there's no reason to think this is Saturn. In fact, there are plenty of other planets in our own solar system that have rings around them, not just Saturn.
All right, this is the really weird part. I'm going to get into something deep right now. So, in occultic symbolism, we see the use of Saturn and black cubes quite often, and I'm going to explain why that is.
See, that picture of Saturn doesn't look anything like, okay, here you go. Fuck. All right, there's Saturn. At least a picture of Saturn that he used. Right? There's the planet that's in the picture as this, which I'm too focused on the just blank ass stare from this owl looking creature that's flying up everywhere, staring at me. Like my eyes are drawn more to that than the rest of the, like I didn't even notice the Emerald City or whatever kind of Stargate thing is right there, or the two suns. Are they on Tatooine? I don't know where the fuck they are. I just know that the owl creeps me the fuck out. But that's kind of the purpose of the owl here. But anyways, that planet right there does not look anything like Saturn.
I'm going to get into something deep right now. So, in occultic symbolism, we see the use of Saturn and black cubes quite often, and I'm going to explain why that is. And hopefully I do a good job of explaining why the number 6 is so significant in occultism as well. So, way back in the land of Mesopotamia, before the land of Egypt had even been settled in, so they say, there were a group of people who lived in the Middle Eastern area known as Mesopotamia who knew a lot more and were capable of a lot more than we give them credit for.
What? I feel like this is some ancient alien shit that's about to go down right here. Okay, like I feel like that's what's about to happen. I definitely feel like he's about to mention like how the Mesopotamians invented the PDA back in the 7th century BCE or something like that. I feel like that's where he's going. But I mean, the knowledge of ancient peoples with our solar system, I mean, we've been surprised before about that. That's nothing like new. So I mean, I don't understand what this has to do with what was in the commercial.
They knew things about our solar system that we have no idea how people of the time knew, and they were able to build structures that stood the test of time, structures that we can't even build ourselves today. But one of
Wait, structures that we can't build? Like, which I would love a citation on this. Like, what kind of Mesopotamian structures can we not build today? Like, I feel like we would be able to build replicas of them. Maybe we don't know how they built them, but I don't know. Anyways, maybe that's nitpicky.
The most fascinating things to me about these Mesopotamians is their god Saturn. The Mesopotamian.
Oh, no. Okay, so this is a bit of a misrepresentation here, okay? So the Mesopotamians did not have a god called Saturn. Now, the Mesopotamians, they did know about the planets in the sky, although I'm sure, I don't know, I don't think that they knew that they were like planets, because back around that time, they were known as wandering stars, right? So, I mean, like, they didn't have telescopes where they could see that they were actually planets. They just knew they were stars that moved in the sky, and they were different in the different parts of the year. So what they did was they actually, and I had this pulled up. I wonder if I can find it, but list of Mesopotamian deities. So they associated certain deities with with planets. Let's see. Yeah, so they celestial bodies. So they associated their deities with celestial bodies. Now, saying that the Mesopotamians had a god known as Saturn that was representative of the planet Saturn is a total misrepresentation. Actually, it was Ninurta is the god that is equated with the planet Saturn. So like the planet that appears in the sky, they called it Ninurta, while I believe Saturn was actually Greek. I believe Saturn. I always get the Greek and the Roman versions mixed up. Okay, sorry. Saturn is named after the Roman god of wealth and agriculture, father of Jupiter. Okay. It looks like Cronus is the Greek name of the planet. Okay, so it's Roman. Saturn is Roman. Cronus is Greek. Like I said, I always get those two mixed up. I don't have them memorized. But my point is that Ninurta was associated with the planet that would later become known as Saturn. It was not like they knew Saturn.
And the Sumerians, who by the way predate the Egyptian Empire, knew that the number 6 was correlated with Saturn. And if you don't know, by the way, if you follow religion from Mesopotamia all the way down to Rome about 2,000 years ago, you'll find that Saturn, Ahriman, Satan, Lucifer, the devil, all of these characters draw parallels towards one another. They're not different characters. It is all the same being.
I mean, that's you saying that they're the same being. They're obviously different beings because they're different in each religion. Ahriman is the Satan of Zoroastrianism, right? But Ahriman is Ahriman. He's not like Satan. Like, he's not the same figure of Satan, just in a different religion. I mean, he represents the antithesis of their god, sure, but these are different entities in different religions. Painting them as exactly the same or the same being is just wrong.
Antithesis of all good and all creation. In all cases, this devil character is being used as the Prince of Darkness. As humanity grew from this time in Mesopotamia and people spread all across the world, religion began to change, and a lot of these characters changed.
Okay, hold on. So Ninurta, let's read. This is coming from Wikipedia, so take it for what you will. But Ninurta, also known as Nagirisu, was a Mesopotamian warrior deity who was worshipped in Sumer from the various earliest times. He was the champion of the gods against the Anzu bird after it stole the Tablet of Destinies from his father Enlil. And in a myth that is alluded to in many works but never fully preserved, he killed a group of warriors known as the Slain Heroes. Ninurta was also an agricultural deity and a patron of God, the patron god of farmers. In the epic poem Lugal-E, I don't know how you pronounce that, he slays the demon Asag and uses stones to build the Tigris and Euphrates rivers to make them useful for irrigation.
Woo! Bear money!
Fucking bear money! His major symbols were a perched bird and a plow. You know, with it being a plow, you would think he'd be fertility, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, that doesn't sound anything at all like Satan or the Prince of Darkness or anything like that. So, I mean, this guy's literally having to misrepresent Mesopotamian religious figures with, with this Christian lens that he's using to view these figures in. So, I mean, I feel like at this point, everything that he's saying is just dishonest because he's drawing these lines that have literally no support. They're all speculative. They're arbitrary. And he's just literally pulling shit out of his ass. Reasons for Reasons said, could it be aliens? It definitely could be from Saturn. And they had sixes carved on their heads and they played with black cubes.
Their names, but a lot of them are the exact same character. In the same way that the Epic of Gilgamesh and the story of Noah's Ark is largely the exact same story told by two different religions. So what's really interesting about this is that the Mesopotamians and the...
Yes, I mean, well, so you can tell that the Noah story, the flood story in the Old Testament, definitely has intertextuality with the Gilgamesh story, or the Gilgamesh story. Quentin Van Boeven says, how's he managing to make connections where there are none?
I don't care what you say. He was literally shitting in the holes.
I've seen flat earthers make better lines. Yeah, I know. But I mean, this is conspiracy theorist 101, right? I mean, you take nuggets of truth, like there was a Mesopotamian god associated with Saturn, and there's a picture of a planet with rings around it in that Facebook ad. And so you go Saturn, then to Mesopotamia, Ninurta, and then you misrepresent Ninurta and Saturn and everything else in order to tell the narrative that you want to. Because his ultimate narrative is this video is satanic and that there's a satanic message hidden in this video. But you notice how he's having to go to all these strange places and then just start making shit up.
Sumerians use a six-sided star to represent their god Saturn. This six-sided star would make it...
Wait, let's see. Sumerian star. That's
donating this much only makes me drink more.
So the whole six-sided star thing is let's see. Oh shit, hold on. I think I actually found the one that he brought up. Not exactly. Wait, here we go. Let's see. So this is, of course, this is from a website that's not exactly, I don't know exactly how well sourced it is or how well informed it is, but it's about Armenia. Although commonly associated with Judaism, the six-pointed star frequently appears in ancient Armenian carvings on Khakars or in church reliefs, it often appears with the wheel of eternity at the center. So that's the wheel of eternity at the center. It's a six-pointed star. Six-pointed stars are also related to Ishtar and Inanna. Those are Sumerian goddesses. It's also associated with Venus. I think the point that we kind of need to make right here, looks like it's very prominent in Armenian culture. But I mean, it's been used several times in the past to actually represent different gods. But the thing that I'm not seeing here is that it's used to represent either Ahriman or Ninurta. Which who does he say that the star represents?
In the same way that the Epic of Gilgamesh and the story of Noah's Ark is largely the exact same story told by two different religions. So what's really interesting about this is that the Mesopotamians and the Sumerians use a six-sided star to represent their god Saturn.
That does no. But for one thing, they didn't have a god named Saturn. They associated Ninurta with Saturn, but they also didn't represent. Like we even read in this Wikipedia article right here that Ninurta, the Sumerian god or Mesopotamian god that was associated with Saturn, is their symbol is actually a perched bird and a plow, not a star. So I don't know what in the fuck this guy is talking about here. He could be talking about the star being represented in a different religion, and that's representative of Saturn. I'm seeing a lot of like connections to the goddess Inanna and goddess Ishtar and all this other, so it's definitely not the thing that he says it is. Elizabeth Richardson says he needs to have a murder board to show all these random connections that he's making. Hold on. Maybe we should do hold on. I got this image. Shit, hold on. Oh shit, hold on. There we go. This is perfect.
Six-sided star would make its way all the way down history and into the time of the Bible, where Solomon would draw this shape in oil, light it on fire, and possess himself with demons.
Which Solomon?
Their god Saturn. This six-sided star would make its way all the way down history and into the time of the Bible, where Solomon would draw this shape in oil, light it on fire, and possess himself with demons.
Is that in the Bible? Let's see. Solomon. I don't. Let's see. Stanford scholar considers how the man who had everything ended with nothing. Let's see, hold on. No. Solomon legend comes down to us in many forms. Some thought that he could turn lead into gold, conjure demons, or become invisible. Okay. Let's see. King Solomon, 6-pointed star. The 6-pointed star is commonly used in referred to as the seal of Solomon. Let's see what the seal of Solomon is. All right. So yes, this actually has the seal as it's presented out here. All right. So according to Wikipedia, again, just take this for what you will. The Seal of Solomon is the signet ring attributed to King Solomon in medieval mystical traditions. Medieval mystical traditions, from which it developed in parallel with the Islamic and Jewish mysticism and in Western occultism. It is the predecessor to the Star of David, which became the symbol of the Jewish people in modern times. It's medieval. Like, this entire story comes from the medieval times. Let's see, we got Cadence, who sent a member chat saying, sounds like something that was in the Testament of Solomon or his Lesser or Greater Keys book on demons and magic and stuff. Oh, well, fuck, now I'm high on my sugar. So, yeah, probably, but I mean, it gets me because, let's see, it's often depicted in either a pentagram or hexagram shape. This ring variously gave Solomon the power to command shiddim, demons, jinn, genies, and spirits, or speak to animals. Due to the proverbial wisdom of Solomon, his signet ring or its supposed design, it became seen as the amulet and talisman or symbol or character in the medieval and Renaissance era magic, occultism, and alchemy. This doesn't even date back to actual, like, biblical times. This is some fucking shit right here.
So it doesn't matter what name you call it, I'm talking about the exact same thing. So, getting to the point, about 10,000 years after the time of the Mesopotamians and the Sumerians, humanity finally makes their way to space, and what do we see? What you're looking at is Saturn's North Pole. Now, how did the Sumerians and the Mesopotamians know this? How did they
know what? What? No, what about the North Pole of
space, and what do we see? What you're looking at.
What are you talking about? Like, there's no star there. There's what? There's nothing that looks like the star that you presented. That, I mean, Kaden says that's Satan's butthole. That Satan or Saturn. Saturn's just turned end over end. That's its asshole. Okay.
It is Saturn's North Pole. Now, how did the Sumerians and the Mesopotamians know this? How did they know that a six-sided star is what represented Saturn?
Because they only knew Saturn as a star in the fucking sky. Like, they didn't know that it was a planet. They just saw that it was a moving star. Not that the fucking Saturn was goatseeing all of us the entire time. Oh my god.
There is an extremely ancient and highly advanced lost technology that we have absolutely no remnants of, or This world is a lot more complicated, a lot bigger, badder, and darker than we could ever possibly imagine.
What? How does that make any kind of sense? I mean, it doesn't. Like, it's either there's this mysterious technology that we don't have anymore and never knew about and can never know about, or Satan's real. How do you even connect that? Like, I mean, I don't understand. For one thing, the North Pole of Saturn doesn't look like a star. I mean, sure, it looks like a, what was that, like a octagon or something like that, maybe? I mean, sure, it looked like that, but I mean, there's plenty of natural reasons why it would appear that way. So I don't think that they knew that particular part of Saturn looked that way. I just think they thought it was a star. They've represented stars in multiple different ways.
And then this hexagon right here in the background, it's the outline of the exact same shape that we see on Saturn's North Pole. There is absolutely no coincidence that these two things are in the same shot.
I mean, it's just a creative shot in the commercial. That's it. It's also got the Emerald City in there. I don't see you making any kind of conclusions with Wizard of fucking Oz or anything. I mean, honestly, I feel like those lemurs or monkeys or whatever that was in there is more like those fucking flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. How about we do some kind of conspiracy theory where they're actually right outside of the Emerald City and those little creepy lemur looking things are actually flying monkeys? That means that the Wicked Witch of the fucking east, west, or north, or whatever the fuck she was from is actually going to come here and fuck us all up because Facebook is telling us that. That's just as reliable as the bullshit that you're spitting right here.
Please tell me another meaning for that in the comments below. Why else would they put it there?
Just because they wanted to. Like, they wanted to represent creativity. That seems far more likely, dipshit. Oh, nope ropes.
It literally couldn't be any more obvious. You have 4 kids who are sitting in what obviously looks like the Garden of Eden with a bunch of animals around them. It's beautiful and everything. And you have these serpents in the trees above them, and they are just absolutely hypnotized by these serpents.
I'm sorry. Snakes are in trees. Snakes are in the jungle. I don't see them as being in the Garden of Eden. Like that, you're placing that meaning on top of what the fuck Facebook is doing with their goddamn dumbass commercial. And I mean, snakes being in trees is a trope that's seen all throughout every single movie that takes place in a fucking jungle. I don't understand why you've got to draw this Christian parallel to things. It couldn't be any more blatant. Oh, it could be a little bit more blatant.
Woo, beer money.
Thank you for the beer money. It could be a bit more blatant because what they could do is rip all the clothes off of all 4 of the kids, right? In fact, 2 of the kids would disappear, and then the other 2 would be buck-ass naked, and then you'd have the snakes hanging down with they got arms, right? And one of them's holding an apple. They're all 4 of them are holding an apple, and they're trying to get them to eat them. That would be more blatant. That I would say, yes, that is a representation of Adam and Eve in the garden being brazered by a bunch of fucking snakes. Okay, that I would definitely say that is way more blatant. But this right here is just not blatant at all. It's just them standing in the jungle. All right. Personally, I'd be scared by snakes. I wouldn't be head bobbing. The only head bobbing that would happen would be my head bobbing as I ran the fuck out of there. Okay? Casey, the lawyer's Casey is wanting to let me know that I shouldn't talk about naked children on screen. So they would be adult human people that got naked. I'm just saying.
It couldn't be any more blatant or obvious. I can't even get into this one. This is so easy.
It's so easy to pull this out of my ass because obviously you can make the direct comparison to the Garden of Eden, even though it doesn't have any fruit. The snakes don't have arms, and there's 4 of them. They're, clothed. Nothing about it screams the Garden of Eden. I mean, the clothes thing is a big deal because, the clothes, I mean, I feel like them having clothes is a big deal. Anyways, Elizabeth Richardson used a member chat to say, I looked at a house last year that had 6-foot long black snake coming out of a tree in the backyard. My realtor and I noped out of there real fast. Fucking run. Get the fuck out of there. Fuck that snake. The nope ropes. I know some people really like snakes, but I feel like snakes are okay in controlled situations. Not like a fucking black mamba like hanging down out of a tree waiting to snatch you up.
It's obvious. And then here at the end, they go out of their way to show us the tiger and the buffalo again. And as you can see, the buffalo definitely only has one eye. So.
Okay, so apparently, y'all, I just can't anymore. I mean, he says the buffalo definitely has one eye. I don't know about the rest of you, but I see 2 fucking eyes in this picture. What is he looking at? There are 2 eyes. Sure, one of them is more prominent than the other, but that's just because of how the buffalo's head is like positioned. But I mean, you can clearly see the second eye. Well, I mean, I can't point to it because I go out of frame, but you can clearly see the other eye over there. What do you mean there's only one eye? You see, Casey, this is why you shouldn't leave me up here alone. Because I go fucking nuts, and the lawyers end up having to call me and tell me not to say things. Just saying.
And then here at the end, they go out of their way to show us the tiger and the buffalo again. And as you can see, the buffalo definitely only has one eye. So, I don't know. You've got to answer these questions for yourself. I'm just here to raise questions and hopefully at least shed some light on this very peculiar video. So, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this.
I fucking didn't. I miss you too there, hon. I really miss having you up here with all your commentary and shit. So that's going to be it for his video on the Facebook commercial. So I found the video to be quite disingenuous for one. He draws parallels to things that are just simply not even not connected to what was happening in the commercial in general. That like there's the eye of Horus. Well, he said the eye of Ra, but it was the eye of Horus in there. There was the uncanny valley thing, where he was trying to make some kind of like creepy connection to, I guess. Well, not necessarily the uncanny valley, but the idea of Ahriman being represented by the tiger and Ahriman being Satan or whatever. And then, there's all the like Saturn stuff that he went into for the longest time. And I think that's the most blatant misuse of information right there, because while there is a planet with rings in it, it's not Saturn, but he immediately says Saturn, as opposed to the other planets that we know of that have rings. He immediately goes to Saturn because that works for the narrative that he wants to tell. This narrative of Satan controlling this world, or Satan doing something, right? And then he starts going off on the stars, like the star symbolism. which I don't even know where in the fuck that comes from, because, with the whole Seal of Solomon thing, that's a medieval thing. That doesn't go all the way back to the original, like, Jewish culture or anything like that. Like, that's not part of the story of Judaism, that fucking King Solomon would draw a pentagram on the goddamn floor, light it on fire, and then possess himself with fucking demons. Like, that's not in the Bible. That's not in Jewish culture, at least that I know of. As far as like being like a mainstream view, I guess, of Judaism, it seems like a medieval creation, a medieval thing that popped up around the whole occult scene and everything. So I don't know. The entire video was a fever dream of misinformation. I feel like that's probably the best way to explain it. Okay. So anyways, we got some Skeptic Mafia member chats to go through. And this is no longer Aviator Gen. It's just ultraviolet Monster energy drink now. But anyways, we're going to be going to the Skeptic Mafia messages here in a second. I do want to take time to thank everybody for their super chats tonight. You guys have been awesome. I really appreciate the Skeptic Mafia in general. Now we didn't have a Skeptic Mafia podcast this week, but we will get one out for you guys next week. And so I had a little bit of problem with Adobe this week, so we kind of got pushed back on some things. So, hopefully that'll be resolved, completely soon. It's mostly resolved now, but, if you're going to be leaving out right now, please go down below. Let me know what you think about this crazy fucking fever dream of a conspiracy video. Do you think that, he was pulling shit out of his ass for most of the time? Do you think that he was making these connections without any kind of evidence to make the connections? Let me know down below in the comments. And hey, while you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. But wait, don't go, because we got the Skeptic Mafia chat to go through. Let me pull this up. I did make sure that his comments were enabled. Okay. Well, shit. Hold on. I'm gonna have to go to the actual thing in order to get the comments. I think we got about 10. You know what? Maybe this whole thing is satanic because I can't get the comments to pull up. It says that there are 10 comments. Oh, there they go. Okay. All right. First up is Daniel M, who says, I have no idea what is going on here. Huh? I guess it would have helped if I actually watched the video. David had a great birthday party. I rented out a roller skating rink near the area. He had a great time. Even some of his friends from school showed up, which surprised me because I haven't met any of them. David and I had fun with our RC cars in the front lawn. I got a Traxxas X Max added to the collection. It's massive, I guess. Well, you should join the Skeptic Mafia, give life updates, talk about anything really. It's pretty cool perk. There's more to GE Can Explain. Join today. Yeah, there is a lot more to the Skeptic Mafia because not only do you get to see the video early most of the time, but you get to leave a comment, you get to pick the video that we watch on Fridays, and you get a podcast. Next up is Command Cyborg, who says, "Hello world," in a Darth Vader voice. "The stupid is strong in this one." I don't know. "Oh, GE, you've outdone yourself this time. This is even a notch weirder than Dr. Kim." I agree. Which, interesting enough, we're going to have a Dr. Kim video on Monday. "Take some ancient aliens and other woo, mix it up with an oversized helping of the conspiracy thought and some extra new age shit on top. Stir it around and then paint it over with a broad brush of ill-fitting funny evangelicalism. Salvador Dali couldn't make it much more surreal." And it's just so wrong. I don't know where to start. Therefore, I skip the nitpicking for tonight, saving my sanity. The bloke gets the standard wiggling of 2 whale peens. "Now stay off my lawn." Perhaps I'm getting old. "Smash all the buttons, ring a ding dong, all the buttons. Don't lick your phone without proper precautions, and don't index at random integers. You might end up like today's feature video. The horror!" That's all, folks. Thank you, and Command Cyborg says goodnight. Transmission terminated. We got Quentin Van Boobin with a member milestone chat saying, "So I forgot to comment, so I will use this to comment. Index at 1, invest all your money in Bitcoin and maybe a little in Dogecoin. Save just a bit for gold. KC is always wrong. This guy is just crazy." And then KC says, "KC's never wrong." All right, we got Jonathan Nickel, who says, "Oh my god, this guy would be wearing a tinfoil hat if QAnon hadn't bought out the world's supply." Is he Q? No, Q's that little fuck from what, Singapore or something like that? Like that guy is Q. Satanic metaverse. The concept of a metaverse is a hypothesis at best. Well, so what he means by metaverse is Meta, the company, like Facebook, what Facebook became. So it's not the actual, like the legitimate metaverse, like hypothesis. He just means Meta, the company. As for Satan, it is interesting that it brings up Zoroastrianism. In that religion, there is an evil deity called Ahriman, also known as Ha-Satan, the opposer / accuser. He mentions Ahriman in this video, but claims that it developed alongside Christianity. But Zoroastrianism predates Christianity, and the later religion used elements of the former, including Ahriman, whom they renamed Satan. Whilst Lucifer did mean Lightbringer, and whilst modern Christians might use Lucifer as another name for Satan, you should consider that one of the earliest sects were the Luciferians in Revelations 22:16, describe Jesus as the bright morning star. Does Lucifer refer to Satan or to Jesus? That's kind of interesting because, Satan is the antithesis of Jesus. So the fact that they're referred to in a similar manner is something that you would expect. So like, whereas Lucifer is the light bringer and Jesus being described as the morning star, I feel like it just highlights the similarity of the two whilst they're being so diametrically opposed. I'm not that surprised that ancient cultures equated Satan with the number 6. Not only is it the 6th planet, but the 6th day, Saturday, is named in its honor. I don't see any significance other than that, but then conspiracy theorists will believe anything. You know, I didn't really hear anything about the black cubes, and I didn't hear anything about 6 other than the Saturn's the 6th planet, which he thinks is always attributed to being Satan. But we know that's not true, at least in the examples that he gave. Because in the examples that he gave, Ninurta is not like... Ninurta is not representative of Satan. Anyways, Zumi says, okay, so he seems to have a thing with saying, okay, so a lot. Okay, so I'm going to try to stay away from saying, okay, so too much. Okay, so anyway, this guy seems to love his conspiracy theories a little too much. I mean, yeah, the commercial was a bit creepy. Okay, so, but it's not very satanic per se. Okay, so that's pretty much my only critique. Okay, so here's my ASCII dump for tonight. And then it's like, okay, so now do as the ASCII says and go ahead and lick that like button, kiss the subscribe button, and get really intimate with that fucking bell. If you want, you can support GE even more by becoming a member of the Skeptic Mafia, where you can get him to say things like, real engineers index at 1. Or Star Trek will always be and always was better than Star Wars. What? Okay. Okay, so enough shilling. Exit stage right. Okay, look, I disagree with a number of points here. Mainly that real engineers index at 1 and Star Trek is always better than Star Wars. Thank you there, Zumi. Next, we have Drew's Book Reviews, who says, have not seen the ad since I have not been on Facebook for several years now, because quite frankly, Facebook sucks, as does most social media. Social media is good for promoting my YouTube channel, but that's about it, because let's face it, social media, Facebook included, is evil, divisive, and is more aptly described as anti-social media. I would certainly describe it as evil. Well, regardless of whether or not you describe it as evil, I definitely agree that Facebook has become shit, in my opinion. I mean, 10 years ago, Facebook was kind of all right, I guess. I mean, that's where I got started out on as far as my activism goes. And it was okay. It was a little difficult at times, but I think that the way that Facebook has progressed has definitely been a downhill motion rather than an up. Like it's gone, the quality's gone down and not up. Okay. Of course, I'm sure that is not what this Luke guy means by satanic metaverse ad. Looking forward to the stream, and until next time, keep on reading. Quentin Van Booven sent a super chat saying, GE, we know you disagree with real engineers indexing because clearly you're not a real engineer.
I've come to drink beer and shit on people. Luckily, I have enough beer.
As many commenters have pointed out. Now listen, okay? I don't want this whole engineer thing to become a thing, okay? I got 2 engineering degrees. I'm definitely an engineer, and no, indexing at 1 sends you straight to hell. You go to a special level of hell, okay? For indexing at 1, I'm just saying. Casey said of Quentin Van Booven, of course not. And I'm in logistics. Thank you there, Drew. I appreciate your input there. Then we got Trickster, who says, okay, let's start with the fact that this is a commercial and has only a short time to get people interested in the product being sold, which in this case is Facebook. Many could argue that it's Satan incarnate. Many probably would actually approve of that particular message. I'm not one of those people, but you know, I'm sure that there are people that think that Mark Zuckerberg sold his soul to the devil. Let's see. He talks about the art being uncomfortable, but sometimes art is purposefully uncomfortable, especially if the artist is trying to make a point or better represent reality. Yes, and that's exactly what Henry Rousseau was trying to do with his original piece of art. So sorry, guys. Sometimes I spring a leak. I just remembered about my sugar. I need to hurry up and get done with this. Xander still isn't in bed yet. Let's see. The fact that the piece shows a tiger killing a buffalo is nothing strange. After all, tigers eat buffalo. He says he did research. I hope he doesn't mean that he just went and watched some YouTube videos. He probably just found ways to connect things together, even if they weren't supported by any kind of actual evidence. He goes on to say that in ancient times, people built things that they can't build today. I don't understand what he means by this, as we can surely build anything that was built in the past. And of course, he gives no examples of the things we can't build today. He brings up the six-pointed star. Is this his way of covertly saying that the Jews are evil? Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook. He goes on to say that the garden in the commercial looks like the Garden of Eden. How does he know this? Like, subscribe, and share. Want to be part of something special? Give GE a few dollars and become a Skeptic Mafia member. You can actually become a Skeptic Mafia member for as little as $2 a month on the tiers, and you get access to the emojis, and you get a special little badge by your name in the premieres and the live streams, and you just feel special in general. Also know that a portion of your membership goes to whatever charity we're donating to this month, which is the Recovering from Religion Foundation. So if you want to help people out recovering from the religious abuse that they suffered at the hands of people using religion to abuse them, then definitely consider becoming a member. You get a bunch of neat stuff, including a chance to make your voice heard by voting on the dumpster fire we will watch on Fridays, and say what you think of what is said in the videos. And you will also have a good feeling knowing that these evil atheists will use some of your club dues to do some good in the community. Iris Sark, I guess, says the very first thing out of his mouth is both. Thank you, Trickster, for your comment. Is incorrect and wrong. Uncanny Valley is not an art style. The art style here is magical realism, which is a subset of postmodernism. You see, I don't know art all that well. I could see what he was trying to get at with the Uncanny Valley thing, but I get that it's not necessarily an art style. So I'm right there with you on that. I maybe should have known that before off. Anyways. The painting is a riff on Henry Rousseau's The Dream or Le Rêve. Well, no, the actual painting that they saw, at least the initial painting, was painted by Henry Rousseau, but it's called the Tiger and the Buffalo, is what it's called. Which most people would recognize if they saw it, even if they didn't know the painter or style. Uncanny Valley is a psychological phenomenon that happens when you look at a representation of a human that is off or not quite right. It's why clowns or porcelain dolls bother some people. Yeah, those fucking things are scary as shit. Whew, I will run out of a room if you have a porcelain doll right there. Any slight little movement from that fucking doll and I'm out of there. Those are just some of the common things he got wrong. Everything any deeper than that is too wrong to address. I have a degree in art. Oh, okay. Awesome. I'm glad. I love to read about mythology and the occult. This guy's ideas are so wrong. They are not even wrong. Not a single thing correct. I don't know how you could even begin to unravel it in less than 3 or 4 hours. Like I said, I mean, I know that I miss things on these shows, but I'm glad that I have wonderful people like Iris Arc right there to provide some like expert opinion. Definitely. Thank you so much there, Iris Arc. And then we got Terrence Clark. Says this guy pitches 10 minutes straight of conspiracy theory. Also, this guy, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I know. Oh my God. It's so crazy. Seriously though, he sees some basic shapes appear like an animal with an eye because no animals have eyes, and hexagons because those never occur in reality either. Beehives are a series of hexagons. Are bees satanic? Obviously. As far as I'm aware, no ancient Mesopotamian religion puts Saturn at the center of their mythology, either in name or as a representation of the planet. This isn't even good conspiracy theory. At least the good conspiracists base their claims on some contorted reality. Also, join the Skeptic Mafia, be an Illuminati shield so that maybe this guy don't have to make shit up as much. Yeah. I'm sure that he'll find the Illuminati eye as you know, a badge on this channel and think that I'm working for the Illuminati. I can't wait for that video. Let's see. Jonathan Hanachek has a little bit more than normal to say. He says, okay, I feel a little dumber for listening to this guy, but I feel like he tried to make some valid points and then he just lost me. So GE, I'm hoping that you do a great video tonight on this garbage, because holy shit, if anything, I think that we need to have KC in the background with a mic on her discreetly, because I know she's going to have some crazy shit to say about this fucking moron. Now, if you guys don't realize, you should join the Skeptic Mafia, or at least become a shill so you have access to these great emojis, a live chat with John almost every month. One of these days, we need to invite Miss Caitlin Chloe to join us for one of these hangouts. Other than that, I'm hoping that the three of you are doing well, especially in your new home, because neighbors can be crazy. And a non-generic shilling here, and remember, Casey is almost always right. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Remember this idiot out. Thank you there, Jonathan. Yeah, so we will be having a Skeptic Mafia hangout, not this Saturday, but next Saturday is when we'll be doing that. So thanks. And then finally, last but definitely not least, is Perplex Papa saying, I agree, it being disturbing as fuck, creepy even, but satanic? You know, sometimes a dancing snake is just a snake, right? Zoroastrian beliefs is where the Jewish faith come from. Exactly. Saying it's as old as Christianity is like saying Jesus and Trump are the same age. The Zoroastrian people gave us the zodiacs and most of the Jewish beliefs. They were not even the first to have their stories written down, to have written their stories down. It does seem like there was a lot of symbolic decorations and messages imbued in the scenes, but that probably is just to get people talking about it like this. I'm sure that most cultures can see themselves in there somewhere, but it's still creepy. Try to catch y'all live. If not, I promise to watch every single of it ASAP. Thanks, y'all. Thank you so much there, Perplex Papa. I appreciate you being in the comments there. Well, I am definitely over time for tonight. I really appreciate everybody joining me and watching and participating in the live stream. I got to go in here right now and actually monetize it because, well, I mean, you heathens, the Skeptic Mafia people and everybody that's done a super chat tonight, y'all have already monetized the video. So thank you guys so much for that. But you know, let's see, tomorrow night I'm going to be on your friendly neighborhood atheist Ethan's channel for the RFR charity stream. So I'll have that on the community tab. And then next week we've got demonic robots again. And then on Thursday, we're going to have a guy talking about why he's not an atheist. So I hope that you guys can join us for next week and everything like that. Appreciate you guys in the comments right there. Really keeping me on my toes tonight, providing a lot of great information when it comes to this crazy conspiracy shit. And I guess I will just see you heathens later. I'm way too close to the camera because I'm blurry. See, look, blurry. Not blurry. That's because it's on manual focus. Anyways, I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. I'm going to go get Xander to bed, and I will see you heathens later. Bye, everybody.